Hello everyone, I'm David Friman. Today's lesson is about the necessary steps in order to learn any jazz tune. The song I picked for today is Body and Soul, one of the most performed jazz standards of all times. You can download the free attachment containing all the information for this lesson on a link below this video. First, we're going to talk about melody. The melody is what gives identity to a tune or a song. Therefore, the melody has to be learned very well. It is important to identify the different motifs and phrases that are part of the melody. This will help us to shape those phrases with the right intention and dynamics. First, let's look at the melody. And so on. You can keep practicing the rest of the song with the PDFs. Now, the next step will be to add the correct fingering to the melody. The fingering allows you to play with a smooth touch, connecting all the phrases and motifs. Everything flows together, connected. That's the importance of the right fingering. Next step will be adding the bass to the melody. And so on. After feeling comfortable playing bass and melody together, we can start to add a note to the harmony. And so on. This process can be repeated, adding more notes to the harmony. It is important to have a good voice leading, connecting each chord to the closest possible voice. This will allow for a smooth transition between chords and create a more stable harmony. In this next example, I will demonstrate that. And so on. We complete the chords by filling in the space in between the bass and the melody. This can be done in various inversions. In order to accompany and improvise, it is important to understand the harmony that we're dealing with. In the attachments, you will find a PDF with the voicings that I play just the chords without the melody. This will help you to understand how to accompany, and you can sing the melody in your head as you play. Now, once you have the harmony down, you can start reharmonizing. That means you can try different chords that will work well with the same melody. This can be done by learning the modes. The jazz modes give you all the different notes and scalar material to build chords that will work well with this harmony. Not only for harmony, but for solos, to create melodies that will be applied in your solos. And so on. Now we can start working on the scales that work with each of the chords. We can apply all the different modes that work for each chord. For example, there are several minor modes and several major modes that will all work very well with each chord. So we can interchange the notes that are particular to those modes. In the next example, I will demonstrate how to use the jazz modes and various scales in order to create melody lines to improvise and compose variations. In this example, I'm using different variations of the E flat minor scale. We can use the E flat minor Aeolian or natural minor, also Dorian, Phrygian, Locrian, harmonic minor, melodic minor, and so on. There are other variations of the minor scale as well. For the melody, we need to check when we're accompanying that our choices in modes don't conflict with the actual melody of the song. We can use any of the modes as long as our chords and our melodic improvised lines work together. That was the first chord of the song, E flat minor 7, and the scale I played was E flat Aeolian or E flat natural minor. The following chord is B flat 7. The Mixolydian mode on B flat. E flat major key signature. In this example, I altered the 4th and the 5th of the Mixolydian mode, making the sharp 4th and the sharp 5th. It gives the whole tone scale type of sound. When playing the Mixolydian mode, one can alter these 2 degrees of the scale, the 4th and the 5th degree, and that gives some variation to the scale. Always the 7th should remain minor. In the major modes, like the Ionian mode, which is the major scale, a substitute mode for the major scale could be the Lydian mode, the fourth mode. So Lydian mode has the sharp fourth, so this gives a different tension to the major scale. Also, altering the fifth will make the major scale have an augmented fifth. This will give the chord an extra tension that provides with more richness to the harmony. We can repeat this process that we did with the first two chords to all the different chords of the song, playing the various modes and possible scales that will work with each chord. Then we interconnect those scales from chord to chord slowly, trying to create melodic lines that will have a shape and make sense. First, it will be just pure scales. Then we will find ways to connect those scales in order to make melodies that will have some sort of beginning and end. Now things start to sound more like phrases. I'm using the scales to create melodies that sound like songs, not so much like scales, but they have a more musical meaning and feel to them. The purpose of understanding the theory, all the modes and scales, is to ultimately be able to express our musical ideas in the best way possible, creating beautiful musical lines that can convey what we are trying to say. It's okay to make mistakes because from mistakes we learn combinations of notes that otherwise we wouldn't learn, and we may find things that we really like, sounds that we were not exposed to before by following the correct theory. So every time you play a wrong note, embrace it and try to make music out of it. You will find that harmony also contains melody. Within the harmony, there are musical lines that have melody, and by having a great voice leading, connecting the voices in our chords, we can highlight those melodic lines buried in the harmony. So it is important to hear every single voice when playing harmony alone. variations from the melody. First practice between two chords. Then the entire song. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and thank you for watching.